What I try to do in the classroom is simulate what students would experience if they were in the business environment.
I actually approach my job that I'm not a marketing professor as much as I'm working on a professional.
I like staying relevant that way, and I think students do that.
.360 Learning integrates all of the models of learning into the different areas where they're located. And so what we want to do is try to put them in environments that allows them to continue to learn no matter where they are. We want learning to follow the student.
It's a great way to get exposed to a variety of different areas and kind of figure out what you like and what you don't like.
You should have as wide a concentration as possible because there are so many different opportunities and the marketplace changes so often that to be too specific does not take into account that the job that you're going to have in 10 years doesn't exist now.
I go to guys in international business and I ask our international business professor, what do you want them to know when they get out of economics? I ask that from the accounting folks. And I mean, these conversations have to take place.
Where every year we invite business executives and we bring them to campus and we have them meet our current students. We have them meet our faculty and we ask them questions about what should we do with our curriculum, for example, what kinds of skills should we impart to our students that you would like to see in people that you hire.
So the students can really experience what's going to happen in the real world, because nothing is as certain as a problem on a test. But in the real world, we live through uncertainties. You don't know what's going to come the next minute. So you have to learn to be prepared, to be better prepared each time.
I like to use Peter Filene's metaphor in his book called The Joy of Teaching, where he says that the teacher should be more of a facilitator of discussion, someone who creates an environment where students catch an idea, like catching with a ball, and then pass it on to others. I think this method of discussion makes class more engaging. And when students talk more than I do, I think we had a great class.
To me, it's more of a learning process than just a lecture or just a PowerPoint. Yes, those are valuable. I think you need to do those at times. But to me, I would not want to go into a class with 200-300 students and teach in that type of situation.
We have a chance to watch the student from their first year and watch them transform into a budding business executive that's going to go out into the marketplace.
You know, students who might not be academically superior, if pushed hard enough and given the right tools, will respond. That's what education is. You are always transformed. You learn new things, you see things in a different way, you acquire new skills, and you come out changed.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think what we do is we challenge and we push and we nudge and we prod while providing them an environment where they're comfortable failing and making mistakes along the way, knowing that they can get back up and then move forward.
The thing that I like is organizing fun activities, because management and organizational behavior, I think, cannot be learned just by reading from books and taking notes. So I organize many role plays, simulations, games, where students get to do things and experience a certain concept in practice.
Academic advising here is student really sits down, each student sits down and talks at length with their advisors about not only what they're going to do in terms of classes for next semester, what are they going to do going forward, what are they going to do in 2 years and 3 years.
And I've had several students that have come in initially, some very shy but very bright, who just had not budded yet in terms of being able to fully maximize their potential. Those are the people that I tend to pay a lot of attention to, because I see the potential, but I pull them out of their shell, and then we, as a department, we cultivate them throughout the next 4 years, so that by the time they're a senior, they're polished, they have all of the tools, and they know exactly what they have to do to be successful in business.
The way it currently is, you cannot complete an economic major without doing independent research. Meaning they need to themselves come up with an idea, find the data, analyze the data. I, of course, help them both understand what they're looking at, help them get conclusions out of the data. I don't want to be the professor giving them projects, so they really come up with whatever interests them, and I think the outcomes are better when they do what they're excited about rather than what I'm excited about.
Business education needs to be experienced. Therefore, experiential learning and teamwork are promoted. One of my former students who graduated last year launched a venture, a startup. He wrote me recently on his experience. He said, building a business, it's like building a train, and then being able to put the train on the tracks so it can keep running and running. The student developed the business concept in his entrepreneurship classes here at Elizabethtown. And I think this is experiential learning at its best.
The lecture series is something that we created. We're bringing executives into the Hoover Center. So students can be exposed to CEOs, and students need to hear from people who run companies about what they're looking for in employees.
We divide students into small groups, and we identify companies, multinationals in a region within 2 or 3 hours from us. So our students will work on a project. For example, they want to find distributors in a foreign country. This is practical, this is real, and it helps the company rather than finding and paying a consulting firm a huge amount of money to do research for them. Our students do this type of research. But the learning happens well beyond the classroom. We have a variety of different ways that students are exposed to materials and learning, and we help them everywhere that they are willing to learn.
We do a lot of activities outside of the classroom. Last year we went to Federal Reserve Fed Challenge competition, which is nationwide. And for a school that has very small number of students, our team did better than Princeton, for example.
We acknowledge that the whole world is an opportunity. Experiential learning is continued at an international level through a class in entrepreneurship in emerging economies. This course is centered around an entrepreneurship simulation exercise, where students visit Prague and Czech Republic, diving into this wonderful cultural experience and acting as an entrepreneur to discover an opportunity to launch a US franchise in Prague.
The Student Managed Investment Portfolio is, I think, a unique feature of our program, particularly given the size. As we like to say, it's real students investing real money in real companies. And we have about $250,000 that was donated through alums. And this is our 12th semester, 6th year. We've been managing to beat the S&P 500 index rather consistently. So while that's not the primary goal, of course, is an educational experience. It's sort of rewarding to see the students perform well.
The Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, our clients, which are low-income or elderly folks from the community population, come in for their tax appointment and they meet directly with the student. So students are very nervous about their first meeting. By their 4th, 5th, 6th meeting, they're much more comfortable. They know what to ask for, they know what documents look like, and most students, when I review the comments from that program, say that this was one of the most beneficial things that I'd done on campus. It really allowed me to take from the textbook and put it into context, even though most of those tax returns are pretty basic. It's just really one of the first opportunities to try and put into action some of that knowledge.
Our geographic location, I think, is amazing. Being close to major metropolitan cities, Baltimore, New York, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, offers a lot of opportunities for our students. And so we see students going over there to work on projects, classroom projects, as well as internships, as well as employment after they graduate.
We have big firms coming in to hire. We have strong connections with our alumni that are working at those big firms that keep that relationship going. I have repeat employers coming back year after year, And oftentimes we'll get a call from an employer saying, hey, do you have any candidates? We hired so-and-so last year and they worked out great.
And it's now great to see what has happened after 25 years. Some of them 35 years have been out. Some of them only 3-4 years have been out. But it's great to see what they've done. It's amazing when I look at their bios, what they've done in that period of time.